loose, and the Colts have it.
As a coordinator, you got a busted play here, and then Sanchez gets hit. The ball is loose.
So look at the fumble right here, and it's picked up on the bounce, and there he goes.
Welcome back.
We're back, folks. It's been a long time. It seems like the summer, spring has just been an eternity.
Dude, I've been working at this for so long.
You've been working hard.
You don't understand. The quality's going to be better.
Yes.
The picks are going to be better.
Yes. I mean, we're not going to fumble the bag. We're just going to do what we do at a better, level.
Yeah.
And, we've learned from last season. And I think we're ready to go. Y'all got to join us, though. Y'all have to come and join us.
Absolutely. Like and subscribe to the channel, first and foremost. Fumbling the Bag Pod. I think it's on YouTube. I'm going to try and post this to Apple Podcast, and eventually I'll get a Spotify account for this. Today, we are going to go over fantasy rankings, Andre's rankings in general, position-wise for fantasy. He did a little different than me. We kind of proposed a ranking thing to do.
Right.
But,
Hey, I'm ready if you're ready.
Oh, I'm absolutely ready. Once again, subscribe to the channel. I'm Rich J.
Andre Miller.
Follow me at Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it these days. I think my Instagram will be in the plate too. It'll pop up. Yep, like right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm South Bend Savage.
Yep.
The name speaks for itself, folks.
Let's just get into fantasy rankings though. Like for me, my rankings were based off of PPR, standard league, very, standard stuff. If we were playing like 2 QB leagues, I would rank quarterbacks pretty much first, and that's why I'll give you a little, disclaimer. I did rank a couple QBs at the end of mine.
Okay, all right.
Andre, you ranked your QBs first. So.
I did. And my number one QB was Jalen Hurts, okay?
Yeah.
I think, Jalen Hurts does everything. I think he's going to be a better quarterback. I think he's going to fulfill, what he had did last season and then some, because he has a little bit more continuity with the receivers now. I think he understands what he needs to do. He's more comfortable at it. And he's just a phenomenal player. With that being said, though, I had, Josh Allen is my second quarterback pick. Josh Allen, the last 2 years, I believe, he's had 40-plus touchdowns. I know you're a Josh Allen guy, so I know you know these stats.
Over 35, yeah.
Over 35,
Over
okay.
35, yep.
That's incredible.
He's also rushed, nearly 1,000 yards.
Yes.
But Hurts, I can see your point with Hurts, the rushing upside. Also, just in the red zone, he's getting like 50% of goal line carries.
He is.
So that's undeniable. If you want to take him one, there's really no debate for any of these guys, Hurts, Allen, or Mahomes.
Mahomes is my third pick.
Yeah.
Mahomes, you know what he does. He's going to continue to do it. Although, Mahomes, they lost Schuster.
I don't think that matters. Nothing matters.
I mean, yeah, I think they have a system. Andy Reid knows what's happening. He kind of conjures up some things that that keeps it going.
Sky Moore season, yeah, it's gonna be something like that. Kelsey is always if you put him in wide receiver rankings, he's wide receiver 10 every year. That's why he's so highly coveted.
Yes.
Do I think he wins you fantasy leagues per se? No, but do I think one of these 3 QBs do? Yeah, absolutely. You should definitely target one of these guys.
Yes, I believe so.
In a 2 QB league, I'm targeting these guys first round.
Okay.
And in standard PPR leagues, I would target them around probably early 3rd round.
Okay.
Because I think they're just going to go anyway. I think people see the name and it's well, that's too good to pass up. Mahomes could throw for 5,000 yards.
Yeah, especially if they're still out there too. I think it'd be behoove of people to just get them.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
have Justin Herbert is my 4th quarterback choice.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That speaks for itself as well. He's going to put up numbers. He always does. Now, as far as the team going anywhere, we're not talking about that anyway. But he's going to put up his numbers. My 5th guy, Joe Burrow, of course. Joe is a great quarterback. He's a little injured right now, but he'll be back.
Do you think he starts week 1?
Yes, I think he'll be back by week 1.
Yeah, I mean, Jamar Chase being like, hey, week 5, buddy, we don't need you. No, you need him.
You need him,
That's
yes.
a tough division this year. One of the toughest, I think, in the league.
Yes, it is. And, we'll get to that, too, in one of our other
Yeah.
shows.
Oh, yeah.
It's a tough division. I got Lamar Jackson as my 6th quarterback. And, Lamar's going to do his thing, too. He feels a lot better about his situation because he got his contract.
He didn't fumble the bag, guys.
He didn't fumble the bag. His mom and him almost fumbled the bag,
though. He's fucking this up. He didn't
Right.
fuck it up, guys. He got paid.
He was going to get paid by somebody.
Yeah. He wants to be, respected as, in the market of quarterbacks, even though he's not primarily, like, the best thrower.
He's not. And I hope that he's worked on that part of his game. Because he has people that he can throw to, actually, in my opinion.
I'm still skeptical. What is that? OBJ's second ACL? Second ACL tear?
Yeah.
In like 3 years. He really hasn't been fantasy relevant in 3 years now.
Yes.
He'll probably get 5 targets a game. People are looking at Rashad Bateman.
Yep.
As, the number 1 guy again. But he can't stay on the field either. They did draft... They drafted some fucking guy. I hate to put disrespect on him.
Well, I think...
But they said he looked great in camp.
Yeah. Well, Lamar is so unique, too, until... it's the defenders are going to be watching what he does. Mm-hmm. So, that kind of, puts the receivers and the running back on call. Guys have to compete now. You guys have to make some plays. Mm-hmm. And I think that he'll get his numbers regardless, and his feet still work. Although the offensive coordinator does not want him to run as much.
Yeah, he's also missed games due to injury pretty much every single year since his rookie season.
That's why they don't want him to run as much.
Yeah, and I mean, say what you will, I think he probably didn't play for the contract reasons last year in the playoffs. And they should have won that game against the Bengals, too. Don't forget it.
No question.
That was one of the craziest games I've ever seen.
Man. I'm still kind of pissed about that.
My one question to you is, would you have, Justin Fields around 7? Just based on the upside he has in fantasy leagues due to his rushing ability.
Yeah, because he is a unique athlete. DJ Moore is over there as well, so he kind of has that going for himself. And I think the offensive line will be a little bit better also, but I still have to see more from Justin Fields. Yeah. I still have to see more from the team, the Chicago Bears.
I just don't see him as a big passer, but I mean, if he's rushing 70 yards a game and scoring half a touchdown to a touchdown a game,
yes,
almost invaluable. You will see my ranking where I put him in a little while.
Okay.
But we will move on to the running back rankings for you, Dre. I mean, we got some good stuff here. You changed it up a little bit.
I did.
But I respect it.
Well, let me ask you. I know you know who I have. Who do you think my first running back is that I chose?
It's not CMC.
Unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, it's not.
Yeah. I see you got Austin Eckler. That's number 1. You're not afraid of the Kellen Moore.
I'm not, man.
Offense,
I think,
throwing wide receivers to the wayside in the passing game.
Don't get me wrong, man. I don't like his style too much, but as far as Kellen Moore, but I think Austin just fits in anywhere, man. He's just a baller. He's just a football player.
Yeah, I think he can run. Straight up, people I think underestimate him as a runner. They're just like, oh, he's a PPR guy. He's catching 5 to 7 balls a game. I've seen that man break numerous runs out for 70, 80 yards, no problem. He's fast. He's strong. Good hands. I could see it.
A lot of versatility in him, man. I think he can do anything on that field, man.
Yeah, and I respect the pick. Sometimes you have to take the chance and not go by the wayside of what everyone else is saying.
Yes. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's been productive, the last 2-3 years, right?
Yeah, 3 years now, and he's been, I think, a top 5 guy every single season.
Yeah, I don't think that, as bad as the Chargers are, I don't think they would have had the success without an Eckler. You know what I mean? He gives defensive people problems.
Yeah.
So he's my number 7 pick. He's my number 1 pick for running backs.
Yep.
My 8th pick is CMC. Of course. I mean, and the only reason that he's not my first running back pick is because of the injury issue. Now, I think he kind of got over that last season because he didn't get hurt last season.
No.
If he did, he played hurt.
No, yeah. I think he had a bum knee or ankle, but he played through it.
He played through it. So that's a good thing for San Fran.
Yeah, he doesn't get the amount of volume that people would, necessarily deem desirable. And he'll probably go down again this year with Elijah Mitchell still in the mix.
Exactly.
And Deebo Samuel, God knows he'll probably get 3 to 5 carries a game at some point.
Yeah, they got a lot over there.
They got weapons, but I still love the upside as a receiver.
Don't forget Greg at tight end, man.
Yeah.
They got a lot going on over there.
George, you mean George?
George.
Yeah, George. You
George
don't even have him in your tight end ranking. So
I don't because they have so much going on.
Yeah, a lot going on there. So we'll run through. You got Henry at 9.
Derrick Henry at 9. He's pretty much, you already know what he's going to do.
Yeah, I got a little thing about him later that we'll talk about. So
Okay.
I definitely have no problems there.
Nick Chubb.
A guy without a second running back behind him this year, so he's going to get a full workload.
Yes.
Probably get 300 carries. I like that pick.
Yes. Joe Mixon is going to be a workhorse again.
Contract year, I believe.
It's contract year, yeah. He's going to play hard.
This one I got major questions. Jahmyr Gibbs at 12. I'm high on him, too. I'm very, very high on him, but to have him above Saquon Barkley is almost like a crime. And I like the Lions, of course.
Listen, man, the reason that I chose this guy, this rookie in particular, is because of Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Lions, and so many things that he does, man. I mean, people are going to be sleeping on this guy Gibbs, and Gibbs is going to hurt you because you're worried about the receivers. You're worried about other unique players. What is who is Goff going to throw it to? And Goff throws it to everybody. He spreads the wealth.
I think there will be a lot of sets where Gibbs and Montgomery take the field this year, and that's what makes him dangerous.
Yes,
because I think
Montgomery's going to eat too.
I think he can serve that role of an Austin Eckler per se, or Alvin Kamara. In his, it's just the goal line work that scares me the most. I think David Montgomery is de facto the guy within the 10-yard line.
Yes,
that's the guy.
Well, with Jahmyr Gibbs, I think he's just going to be all everything. He may not get as many looks in the goal line, position offense, but he is going to score, and I think he's going to get a lot of receptions and a lot of looks, period. I mean, it's just going to be a crazy offense. Yeah. We saw what Detroit did, where they were in the top 5 offensively last season.
Yeah.
The same thing this season. Nothing's changed.
O-line,
and that's with Jameson Williams being gone for 6 games.
Yeah, and that didn't matter. You got to remember, they had Josh Reynolds go and put 750 yards.
Josh
and
Reynolds,
4 touchdowns. You had Tom Kennedy at one point taking the field, getting reps.
Right.
That guy probably isn't touching any field this year. So.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, they're dynamic. I see you got Saquon at 13, and that's
last
fine.
but not least.
I have him very high up myself.
He's going to be a
contract
workhorse.
Year, man. Even though he kind of bitched out on the contract situation.
He's not happy right now, but it's his contract season. He's still going to play hard. I mean, you can't half-ass play in the NFL. You'll get hurt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and that's the thing. You're going to play. You're going to play hard, and they have a good team, so
yes,
I definitely like that as well. Who did you have on the outside before we move on to tight end?
Oh boy.
And we will talk. As running back, who'd you have a running back? Like Josh Jacobs, Ramondre Stevenson, contract guys, right? Guys in trouble.
I had Jacobs, but I didn't choose Jacobs because Jacobs doesn't have a home. Really,
the big one
honestly,
for me you're missing is I would probably have Tony Pollard over Jahmyr Gibbs. He's a cleared workhorse there.
I understand what you're saying. He is a workhorse, but he can get hurt from time to time, and I just don't trust. I don't trust Dallas. Nothing about Dallas I can touch right now.
After last year's game.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave Pollard alone right now.
I think he's going to go very, very, very high.
You think he's going high? Okay.
I think he'll go near top 10 picks. Honestly, probably top 10 to 20.
I mean, I'm not mad if people choose him.
Yeah, he'll be there in those first couple rounds. That's for fucking sure.
And he is going to get a lot of looks.
But yeah, we're going to move on to tight ends here.
All right.
I forgot to print off the wide receiver page, everyone. So Andre knows it by heart, so he can just shut it down.
Kind of. I got it written down, too.
You got it written down. So.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
We're both ready.
Yeah. Shoot it at me, man.
So,
what do you got?
Justin Jefferson. He's going to go ballistic again. Although,
Clear number one.
Yeah, the defenders know about him now, though, so they're going to, kind of target him a little bit more. But I think he's still going to do his job. I mean, Cousins is going to get him the ball. It's one of his security blankets, so he's in there. Jamar Chase, Cincinnati, Burrows, you know how their relationship is, so they're always going to be 1 and 2. Yep. He's going to get him the ball, and that leads to their success anyway. Tyreek Hill, and I was fighting. Tyreek Hill been a little bit higher because we know how bad of a man Tyreek Hill is.
Yeah.
Any team he goes to.
I like him at 3. I
3 is good for him, though.
There's no
yes.
problem with that. Would not complain about that whatsoever. Next,
Devontae Adams.
Yep.
New quarterback this season.
Doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter.
The yards he gets on separation.
Yes.
He's always open.
Phenomenal talent.
Doesn't matter who you are at QB.
CeeDee Lamb. Okay, Dallas. Although I'm not a Prescott fan. I'm not a Dak Prescott fan.
Yeah.
He claims he's going to throw less interceptions. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
He's putting a lot of pressure on himself. But I think CeeDee Lamb is in the house. My boy, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah.
I wanted to put him higher, but because of the versatility in Detroit's offense and who they can go to, they don't have to rely on him all the time. So that's why I got him as low as I have him.
Yeah,
but
the new Julian
Edelman.
Talent. Yeah, it's the new Julian Edelman.
He is.
He's just there.
And AJ Brown.
Yeah.
For Philly.
Yeah, I got no problem with that.
Hurts is, and I think, like I said before, the continuity now, because they played, kind of a half year together, sort of. I guess,
sort of. Yeah.
In the camps, and they're going to connect. He'll be in the house. He's going to put up some numbers. Can we go to tight ends?
I have one question to ask, of course, and that's Cooper Kupp missing from that list. I'm low on him also this year. I just think a wide receiver over age 30. I mean, a couple of these guys are. I think Devontae Adams is in his age 30 season.
Yeah.
Who else is up there in that? AJ Brown's 28 or something. He's younger.
Yes. How old is Tyreek?
He's 28, 29.
He's in that,
I think he's my age.
Up there.
Yeah, but I have no problem with him. He's a clear number. Him and Waddle are getting 50% of the targets. There's no issue there.
I'm surprised you didn't ask me about Waddle.
I wouldn't put Waddle that high. You'll see him in my rankings. He's sub top 25. I like him this year, generally speaking.
Yeah, he's going to get his numbers.
He's gonna get his. It's just kind of like T. Higgins. It's they're clear number 2s, but they could probably be a number 1 on about half the teams in the league.
Well, let me ask you though, if Tua gets hurt again, which I know he will, does that change with the receivers? I mean, who's their second?
Yeah, you're fucked. You're absolutely fucked.
I mean, but
that's anyone in the league. That's the problem.
True.
We were betting this as if Tua stays healthy all year, Burrow stays healthy all year, Stafford's healthy all year.
Stafford?
The guy who's a walking fucking corpse, man. That guy has so many.
You talking about with Kupp? Yeah, okay, I get
with
you.
Kupp, yeah.
I get you.
With Kupp, if he gets hurt, Lamar, if Lamar's done, is Mark Andrews viable at all?
Yeah.
It's very dependent on QB health also.
It is.
And who it is. Some guys it doesn't matter. DeAndre Hopkins probably doesn't matter. That guy catches balls from whoever. And
he's not in my receiving core. I mean, don't get me wrong. If he out there, I'm definitely going to take him.
Yeah.
After these people though.
Yeah. Once again, can't believe I missed printing that earlier, but that's all right. We'll move to tight end rankings real quick. And your favorite kicker that you'll take, which I wouldn't take a kicker till around 10 to 13, depending on the league you're in. So
we gonna talk about that.
But yeah, talk about your top 3 tight ends. I mean, they're my top 3 tight ends, I believe, as well. So we're pretty in sync there.
Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Now, this is a precursor though. He's getting older, 34 years of age.
Been doing it
forever. We talk about injuries. He may be an injury away from just, being out of the league, you know what I mean? Or for the season or whatever. He's older.
Never missed many games.
But he doesn't miss many games.
Iron
but
Man.
When you get older, though, you know how it goes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Things can happen. Injuries
like
can take
Antonio
hold.
Gates and Tony Gonzalez, like when you look at the greats, Shannon Sharp even at tight end, like those guys didn't miss games ever.
They didn't.
So I think he's that durable. I still think he's worth the number 1 tight end pick. Like consensus, he'll be top 10 probably.
That's why
I've heard people be like, he's number 1 overall because of the advantage you get at the position.
Yeah.
Do I really believe that? No, I'm a skeptic.
Right. I don't know if he's number 1.
Like, I punched on that. Like, if I see him around pick 12, sure. But, you'll see where I have him ranked. I feel like it's accordingly.
It's accordingly,
but people will
He
jump and get him
deserves
at top 5 every year.
Yeah.
Just that's the way it goes.
Well, my second tight end is T.J. Hawkinson.
Great pick
with the Minnesota Vikings. Great. Yes. Kirk is going to find him. I think he's going to be a security blanket for Cousins as well. And they kind of came on towards like the end of the season also with their connection. So I think that's a very solid pick. Mark Andrews is my last but not least third tight end, and I think he'll put up numbers. I think he'll be a security blanket for Lamar.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's going to get 7 to 10 targets a game more than likely. It's one of those guys, always open with the kind of system they run.
Yeah,
he's there.
I love him.
Always there, yeah. And
now,
yeah, if you want to take a kicker, you got one guy. My one guy is Young Ho Koo for the Falcons. If he's there still, I don't really know. I think he's there, but that's my guy.
He's
love
good.
his name.
Justin Tucker, is my
Tucker,
kicker.
Yeah.
And he's just proven.
Yeah.
That's why I chose him. He's going to give you a certain amount of points a game, and it's not going to be less or it may be more.
Yeah.
But he's so.
It's just a solid baseline of like, hey, he's scoring 9 a game for you, and that's fine.
And that's 9. That's 9 points.
He's not always like kicker number 1 though. I think he was kicker number 5 last year. I don't think he won the kick. Like he doesn't always win the kicking title, but he's the most consistent guy.
He's so consistent, man. That's why I put him on my list, man. You need consistency in your fantasy football team. If no matter what it is and who it is, because you're gonna need those 9 or 10 points. It might come down to, oh my goodness, I need 6 more points. You might have to rely on that kicker.
Oh yeah.
So that's the only reason I put him on there. I thought it would be a something different to people. I know people be like, a kicker.
Yeah, kickers.
Hey,
I mean,
we trying to keep it fresh.
Yeah, keep it fun. Just
Right.
This is light. Like take this as what you will. Like look at the graphics, see how pretty they are.
Oh, it's very pretty.
Yeah, like this shit looks cool.
He's the prettiest kicker I've ever seen in the graphic.
That guy's a dog. So. I got no problem with it. I'm going to run through my top 10 real quick because we basically elaborated on a lot of it. And, I think one guy you didn't have that I will mention in my top 10. We'll just run through it. My top 10 fantasy picks in general. This is for PPR leagues, standard, very the most basic league you can pretty much be in. And I would consider like best ball. This would also be like a good best ball ranking.
Okay.
I got no problem with that, even though I know a lot of people go wide receiver crazy at the start. Not your boy here. So I'm keeping Christian McCaffrey number 1 this year.
Okay.
Nothing will prove me otherwise. Nothing can tell me otherwise until he gets hurt or doesn't have the, opportunities that he did in Carolina, where he's getting about 80% of the carries. He probably won't. He'll probably be around 60%.
Okay. All right.
I got Justin Jefferson clear number 2, Austin Eckler 3. I'm still high on him. Jamar Chase 4, Tyreek Hill number 5. I'm low on Cooper Kupp compared to most. I know he's basically going 2 in drafts.
That's crazy to me.
I kind of want nothing to do with him. So anyone that's listening to this in my league, Devontae Adams 7. I'd rather have Adams, but the upside with Kupp is higher. I will say that. Number 8. This is just a consensus ranking. Bijan Robinson's going to go very high, just like Saquon Barkley did a few years ago.
Okay.
There's nothing in my mind. The only thing that scares me is the Arthur Smith offense. Yes, they run the ball a ton, but like Tyler Algier had 1,000 yards last year, and Cordero Patterson was supposed to be the man. Maybe the workload's a little bit less than people think. Maybe he doesn't get 300 carries, and maybe because I don't think Ritter's the guy. It's gonna be what the fuck, the guy from Washington that went over. He'll probably be the starting QB, even though
Okay.
he's not that good either.
I know. Well, let me ask you. Let me dive into that a little bit. Now you do realize this guy's just like my Jahmyr Gibbs. This guy's a rookie coming into the ATL.
Yeah, I don't think that matters. Yeah.
Now, that's a lot of pressure you're putting on him, because I don't think the offense is that, good. I mean, it's decent, especially at your quarterback. So I know he's going to get a lot of looks.
Yeah.
But don't you think that the defense will try to swarm on him because the offense is not that, dynamic, I guess?
It reminds me of Derrick Henry in not his first season, his third season. Derrick Henry was, kind of a guy who got half the carries to start his career. Saquon Barkley in his first season was being drafted like number 1 in fantasy leagues. Like, that's not a debate.
Crazy. Yes,
and I remember I took him, like 4 or 5 years ago in my league at number 1, and I
had
won.
A great season.
He was a league winner that year. So, I think some people will, take the bait. I'm fine with him at 8. I got Travis Kelce at 9. A lot of these are interchangeable. Like, it just depends on my mood. I'll be honest. Like, Kelce might go 7 if I'm really feeling it. Like, if there's a way I'm feeling.
If he's out there and you have the 7th pick.
Yeah, and my 10th pick, Saquon Barkley, just a guy I'm absolutely high on in a contract season. I got nothing but high praise for him. I think he's a great runner after the ACL.
Yeah.
When he came back, he struggled the first year, but now he's back, fully healthy, hasn't had any real injury problems. Plug him in at 10 because I'm getting that pick at 11, so that is what that is. We will move on to the next one, but you will just give me a second. Let me get this page and... Alright guys, we'll move it along to my rankings from 11 to 20. Like I said, standard, PPR, best ball, whatever. General rankings, a lot of people will agree, disagree, and it's by spots. Like, even day-to-day, some of these will change for me.
Okay.
We'll just jump right back into it. I got Jonathan Taylor at 11, even despite the contract issues and maybe a possible holdout or injury. Jim Irsay, he famously went to go, free a whale? Instead of pay Jonathan Taylor, he spent like $20 million on that. So that's pretty interesting to me.
I know, man.
He's doing him dirty, but
SMH, man, on the owner of my Colts.
Yeah, nothing's going to change until the CBA expires in 2030, I believe. It's like 7 years from now. So a lot of these guys will be out of the league. Sorry. I mean,
that's true.
I want them to get paid just as much as anyone else, but dirty fucking world we live in, I guess. Because, I idolize the running back position in football. Dude, those guys take hits, like, more than anyone.
They hold value. Especially, think about what they have to do, man. They have to run the ball. They have to be able to block. In today's football, NFL football, you have to be able to catch the ball.
Frank Gore probably has 1,000 concussions.
I know, right?
Like, and there's that, too. It's the injury thing, man. Those guys just deserve it off that alone. So
they do.
That's enough of that. We'll just kind of run through these rankings. I got Derrick Henry at 12. Stephon Diggs, 13. CeeDee Lamb, 14. Nick Chubb, 15. The Sun God himself, Amon-Ra, 16. I have him pretty high. I got Chris Olave above Garrett Wilson. I think they're kind of one of the same. I think they're both going to eat this year. A.J. Brown at 19, that's fine. Mark Andrews is going to go late second round, early third round, so I have him at 20.
Okay.
I do not have Hawkinson in my top 25. Surprise, surprise.
Okay.
But I do like him up there, too. He's a guy I think that's going to garner a lot of targets this year, even though, because he's not a great pass blocker. He's a pass catcher.
Exactly.
End of the day. And Kirk Cousins is going to throw that fucking thing. And we'll finish it off. We have the picks 20 to 25 in my top 5 quarterbacks. So I got Jalen Waddle at 21, Tony Pollard at 22. I like Tony Pollard, possibly higher.
Okay.
Just depending on if they sign Zeke, Dalvin Cook, whoever is open. Like Fournette's still a free agent. There's guys available. That's also dependent on all of this. This is also August 12th, by the way, everyone. So if this changes, in 3 days, where Dalvin Cook somehow goes to the Giants or Fournette, or to the Cowboys, mind you, this will obviously change. He'll maybe move down 5 to 10 spots.
Okay.
Josh Jacobs at 23, I don't think he holds out on his contract. I remember people being low on him last year. I was all in on him. I think early third round is fine for him. Like a good RB2.
Right, yes.
DK Metcalf had no issues last year, so he's going to continue his reign of terror in Seattle. And I really like Amari Cooper with a bounce back season.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amari, huh? In your top 25.
Yeah.
Okay,
Those guys
okay.
I had to take out. Like, I had T. Higgins close too, but, like, he's a clear number one guy in Cleveland. Deshaun Watson will be better this year. And, yeah, that's just my basis on that alone is this guy's going to get a lot of targets, man, and he can play anywhere on the field.
Cleveland's going to be tough, okay?
Yeah.
I will say that.
for
So
sure.
I'm not mad at you took me by surprise, but I understand.
But that's the thing with these rankings. Once you get pretty much past your consensus, like, top 20, like, it's all up for debate.
It is.
It's really subjective. But, yeah, like, anyone who wants to cheat on my, know who I'm targeting this year in a fantasy league, and I'm usually okay at this shit. So, yeah, that is what it is. I'll give you my top 5 QBs before we move on to the prop market bets we like for the season. I have Pat Mahomes 1, unfortunately. As much as of a hater I am of the man, I am not a hater of his play. I believe he will throw close to 5,000 yards again. I think he'll run the ball well.
Okay.
I got no problem with him. And it's like all these guys, contingent on injury. Josh Allen, clear number 2, number 1 in my heart. You see the candle in front of me. He's still there. That'll burn bright all season long. Jalen Hurts, number 3. Like me and Andre have already discussed, it is very give or take, and just pick one of these 3 guys.
Yeah, man,
Who fucking cares? Just have fun. Number 1 rule of fantasy football, have fun. Pick who you want. Pick the guys you like.
Yeah, and that, that's what most people do. Sometimes that gets people in trouble, though, but...
Oh, yeah, when you see, our buddy last year, remember when he picked 2 kickers in the first, 10 rounds? Yeah, that
kickers, wow.
That was nuts.
I hope one of them was Justin Tucker, though.
It was McPherson, and I don't think it was Tucker. I think you picked Tucker.
I did?
Yeah, fuck you mean, yeah.
Oh, man.
And, yeah, my picks 3 to 5 are just... I mean, even Josh Allen, it's basically dependent on rushing ability. I like Lamar Jackson at 4 because he can just run the ball. If that guy runs for 100 yards and scores a touchdown in a game, that's more valuable than if he throws for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and we know he's capable.
Yeah.
So.
Or it's about as valuable, I guess, because, add the fucking numbers up, whatever. I'm not a mathematician by any means. And, yeah, I like Justin Fields at 5, just dependent on they got the receivers, DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Is Mooney still there? I don't know. They still got
quote
Claypool.
me on that. They still have Claypool. Claypool, he's injured sometimes. Sometimes he doesn't play well. But, I think they have to, the practices may make them more, more of a glue fit, so.
And then, experienced veteran Cole Kmet. That's an underrated tight end. If you want to punt on tight end.
I know. That's true. I thought about him putting it on my list, too.
I wouldn't put him top 3, but he would probably... No, not over, Evan Ingram or some of these names. Darren Waller, even, I think. There are guys in later rounds you can pick up that might surprise you. So. Yeah. And I feel like tight end's actually deeper than it's been in years prior, so the punt could be the best play you have.
Yes.
Because, strategy is dependent on whatever you want it to be. If you want to pick 5 wide receivers right out the gate, you have any choice you want to make, man.
Well, my strategy is I don't really have a strategy. I mean, I try to pick who I think is going to give me points and hold value throughout the season.
Yeah, I know the consensus, for you probably is too, you're probably more of a boom or bust guy. You're I'd rather have a guy with a high ceiling and a very low floor than me. I like a high floor guy but a lower ceiling.
Right. I get you. Well, when we talked about the running backs, there's only a handful of running backs that can do everything that's exceptional.
Correct.
So, and I go by that too. And after those top 5 or top 6, I'll grab running backs or RB2s and 3s. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just so in case if somebody gets hurt, but I'm not I'm not targeting them anymore, you know. And there's a lot of running backs out there too.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know. Now the receiver thing, you know, okay, let's see. And some of those have to be really dynamic for me to grab them in early rounds.
Yeah, I mean, I was always a running back heavy guy, but yeah, the strategy's dependent on who you're drafting with too. If you got guys you know are like heavy, like they're like, hey, I'm going no RB strategy, you might be more inclined to take, you know, a wide receiver in the first round because you know those guys are doing the same thing, and those guys will be there later in the draft.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
You know, a guy like Tony Pollard could drop from round 3 to 4. Not saying he will, but if everyone's just, you know, swiping all the wide receivers up, like, someone's going to drop in the draft.
Yes. And then you might not have a choice but to take that particular person.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
or,
for sure.
know.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there. I remember last year, it was like I went, you know, in both of our leagues, it was like, I think I went running back, wide receiver, tight end. Like, and usually I'm like running back. Like, I'll just stack them.
Man, people was getting snatched up. Like, whoa, where's he at? Oh, he already got snatched up. Like, dang.
And you know, the information's more available now. The people you draft with, they're we'll just put it like this. Even the guys in your home league are smarter now, so
yes,
it's all things to think about. I want everyone to have fun when drafting this year. Don't do your drafts like right now, I'll be honest. Do them like we do them week 3 of preseason, week before.
Yeah, man.
You know, and like I said, just have fun with it. And, you know, as a GM of my own league, I've had to learn too, like, gotta let every trade go through. Doesn't matter.
I know, right? I'm not going to be that asshole.
Unless it's that crazy, let every trade go through. If some guy wants to trade Christian McCaffrey for Terry McLaurin and I'll just say like Darren Waller, and Darren Waller's, you know, sub 15 tight end, you let that happen. You let that shit happen, man.
Let them hang themselves. You know, I don't have no qualms about it. I mean, I look at certain trades and I'm like, really? Okay, whatever. Do what you got to do, I guess.
Pass that shit. Have fun. End your season before week 18.
They'll learn. This is how you learn, too. You know, you have to kind of like just dive in. The water is warm. You know what I mean? You just got to kind of get your experience and see how you want to play it, you know. But you have to be the GM. You know what I mean? You have to be the coach. You know, you might have to be the psychiatrist for your team. I mean, you know, you wearing a lot of hats, but you just have to juggle all that stuff and feel comfortable with what you're doing.
Yeah, and after doing it, if you're new to fantasy football, I would just say, like, you're gonna have a learning curve right away. Like, I remember when I started playing the first 3-4 years, it was pretty rough, and now I've been playing for, you know, close to a decade now. I'm usually there. I usually am competent enough to pick guys that are, you know, they aren't bad picks. I won't take James White in the, you know, 5th round like I would. Or seen James Robinson out there too yesterday. He's a giant this year. That's one of my goated guys. So, you know, we'll move it to the prop market. I hope everyone enjoys, you know, fantasy football for the year. But we are going to go to the sports book and we're gonna look at some season-long props. All right, so we're gonna move along. And we got some fun season-long props if you're into that kind of thing. I know it's a long time to hold money, but sometimes there's an edge. People used to win on like 80% of these bets because the sports books did not adjust properly. They didn't go on average touchdowns that a player scored in their career. They went by how many they scored the last season. So, like, Jamal Williams would be at like 15 touchdowns.
They're insane.
You know, looking through it, you know, it's gotten a lot harder to gauge this shit. So a lot more overs are going to hit this year. I'm playing some overs, playing some unders. I got 3 that I really like, but I'll let Andre start it off here. I think he has a couple, you know, little off-the-wall ones that you really can find them.
And I really like them. I have David Montgomery, who's playing for the Lions, first season there. 750 plus regular season rushing yards.
Nice.
And that's I got it at plus 100. And I really think that has a great opportunity of happening, you know. I think he's going to be very effective. The second one I have is Jalen Phillips for Miami Dolphins to record 10-plus regular season sacks.
That's a guy. I mean, and you're going to have to kind of look through the book and see these players. You know, not every book's going to offer this. Right. So where are you looking for these props? Is it FanDuel, DraftKings? Where are you looking?
I mostly looked for them on FanDuel. like for Jalen Phillips, I believe that was I want to say that was a plus 128 in FanDuel. But I looked at DraftKings. It was a little bit, a little bit lower. That's why I chose FanDuel for this particular one, these two. So I think, and I'm comfortable with these picks. Yeah, I'm very comfortable and just kind of holding my money and just see what happens.
Yeah, you're like, and like obviously, like I said, don't gamble anything you can't afford. Obviously, especially if you have to hold it all year long. I mean, luckily some of these sites too will give you a cash out option.
Right.
Hopefully, it's looking in your favor at that point too. So
Hey, I might put some more on that. It's always like maybe the first 2 or 3 games and see how things are.
And that's the other thing, they will sometimes keep the lines. I know, like, for season wins and that, they will have that line still available to you, or they will change the line, and maybe you can even hedge out.
Exactly.
Or double down, whatever you want to do. I got no problems with those. They're a little, like, I'm looking at more, like, baseline players people know. So I'll start it off with saying, fuck Aaron Rodgers, fuck the Jets. He's not throwing for 3,950 yards this year. He's done it 10 out of 16 times in his career when he's played full seasons. I just think it's a different Aaron Rodgers. I think the philosophy under Saleh will be, well, actually it's Hackett, Saleh's defensive coordinator.
Right.
And, that's, everyone's like got the hard knocks hard on of that I like to call. And I just think I like the under on it. He didn't throw for that or I think he threw just over 4,000 last year.
Yeah.
Just under, one or the other. He's right around that baseline. He's 40 years old at this point. They play a lot of tough defenses, too. I mean, the Patriots have a good defense.
Yeah.
Miami has a great defense. Bills have a good defense. Like, that in and of itself is
just in the division.
Kind of scary. Yeah, that's kind of scary. So, and I think he's, done a little too many darkness retreats. And I will say, I watched the Hard Knocks episode. I think the media does get him wrong as a person. I think he's kooky and a little weird, but I don't think he's a bad, terrible guy necessarily. And that's coming from, like, a Bills perspective. And a Lions fan perspective. I've always hated him as a player. He's probably an okay guy. So I like the under. I think a lot of people will bet the over out of spite of just being like, that's Aaron Rodgers. He's on the best team ever now.
I like that pick. I really do. I think that's a solid one.
Yeah, I think that's solid. I really, if, I'll just move to, my fan favorite. Okay. Amon-Ra, man. That's my favorite guy right now in the league.
Yeah.
Besides Josh Allen, like, it's the Sun God, man.
Yeah, I like the Sun God
works
too.
Fucking
man.
hard.
Oh, my
chip on his shoulder, chippy guy, but he's not like a diva. I really like his over 95 and a half receptions this year. Okay. I seen on DraftKings minus 110. Wherever you want to get it. It might, these numbers can change day to day. This is probably old numbers at this point too. Who knows who's hit it? But yeah, I absolutely love the Sun God this year. I think he's going to continue to get 8 to 10 catches a game.
Yes, I think he will too. And the guy just works hard, like you said, man. He has a chip on his shoulder, man. He's going to just work as hard as he possibly can. He's going to put his life on the line.
Yeah.
to make that catch.
I think he still caught over 95 balls last year with missing a game or two. So,
yeah.
And that's the other thing. Like, injury dependency on this is so critical. Why you should lean unders. Like, if Aaron Rodgers misses 3 games, he's fucked. That under's hitting. Mm-hmm. And, like, if Amon-Ra misses 3 games, he's probably fucked too. That under's hitting.
Yeah.
And, like, you should expect that with these. However, I got a guy as my third and final prop bet. Oh, I love him. He's one of my favorites. It's Derrick Henry, over 9.5 touchdowns. I think he scores 10 this year again. He's done it, like, 4 years in a row now. Make it 5.
Okay. All right.
It's not a great... I think it's minus 105 at DraftKings. This is where I pull all my lines from. He's just that guy.
He puts up numbers every year. Wow, you said the last 4 years?
Yeah, he's put up over 10.
I mean, that's incredible, man. I mean, well, barring injury, like you said.
He still did it in a season. He did. Broke his leg.
He really did. Right. So, I think that's a pretty solid bet. Okay.
Yeah, and I just want to keep the viewers, engaged with, household names. So I like those guys. I had 3 more on my list that I would consider. I'll just throw them out there. I like Carr over 23.5 touchdowns this year. I like Fields under 18.5 touchdowns this year, throwing, of course.
Okay.
And I like Trevor Lawrence over 26 touchdowns this year, but I probably wouldn't touch those. Like I said, I don't like holding my money in these markets. This is just a little food for thought for the listener.
Okay.
And I just want people to, know that this shit is available.
Yes, I like those picks. I like my picks. And people can do what they must. It's probably some things that we overlooked that certain people like. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it is what it is. But we just given what we think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we're gonna leave it at this. We got one other episode that's gonna be back to back with this. I'll release it when I fucking finish it. I'll just put it that way. But I hope everyone enjoys this. Hope you found something great out of it.
Yes.
Again, gamble responsibly. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Shit. Tell me I have terrible picks, please. I don't care.
Don't fumble the fantasy league back.
Yeah. Join 10 leagues. Have fun. Pick your guys.
Don't be afraid to lose your money too. I mean, because that could happen. Usually it does.
It's also a small investment. You're playing a $50 league over 18 weeks. It's
right.
$2 a week. So
have some fun.
Yeah, have fun, guys. So we will see you on the next episode, guys. Take care.
All right.